we are now live. I'm looking to make sure we actually have connection. I'm not seeing any video on the live stream. Come on. There we go. Whew. All right, we finally got live stream, and I believe I've got audio. I would definitely appreciate if somebody would give me a thumbs up in the chat just so that I know that we are actually live and running. Um, Seems like there's always some little twist that needs to be tweaked when we're getting this up and running. So I'm going to run down the teams again. On sheet A, we have the B event final. The Brian team, Brian. There's Brian Tully is Skip. And then we have the Tufaro rink, who has Yellowstones on sheet A. Again, that's the B event final. On sheet B, we have the A event final, and that is Pearson versus Bonino. And then on sheet C, we have the C event final, which is Dunham versus Matt Gallegos. I'll run through the other players in a bit once we get the stage set. Got a good chunk of rocks on all three sheets down the ice. Just to recapitulate, because I don't think I was actually on sheet A. Looks like yellow has, nope, I'm not sure who's got the hammer. It is red. Red has the hammer, I believe. Oh, yeah. On sheet B, we have red with the hammer. And on sheet C, we have red, which is Team Dunham with the hammer. So right now on sheet C, whole bunch of yellow and red stones at the center line and back. And Dunham's team is now throwing it looks like a heavy draw down to come in and count. Right now, yellow is counting 3 on sheet C. Red is trying to sneak one in there, right into a nice pocket, but it doesn't look like they're going to make it. And yellow is still going to be counting 3 on sheet C. On sheet B, it appears that red is counting 3, and red is Team Pearson. Okay, yellow is now doing a hit and roll, and they're going to get the hit, but no roll. Okay, but so they I believe are counting or close to counting, but they are wide open. Over on sheet A, the Bryans versus the Tufaro rink. Okay. The Bryans just threw their shot and got a nice hit and roll, and now got a red in the 4 foot. That was a nice shot. Okay, sheet C, Team Dunham. A little bit of a pickle, staring at 3 yellow Gallego stones, and it looks like they're going to try to open it up a little bit, which makes perfect sense. They're going to get rid of at least one of the guards and give themselves a nice path to the center of the house. A little bit narrow, and I think they're going to take the front guard out. Oh, they just squeaked in. Oh my, they went through the 2 guards. Pretty amazing that they snuck through there and actually ended up getting the stone right into the house and counting. The call was to peel the guards, but they managed to squeak by both of them on the left and right side. Now that was a plan B. So on sheet C now, Team Dunham is counting 1, and yellow Gallegos team has number 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the next 4 stones. On sheet B, looks like a takeout coming down, trying to get rid of at least one of the reds on the left side of the house, and be counting. They certainly got one of them, and it may be no roll, but they are counting, but I think they will be visible. So Team Pearson will be going to do the hit and roll off the Yellowstone on the left side of the house. Over on sheet A, the B event final. Looks like red, Team Brian, just threw a guard to protect their red stone, which I believe is touching the 4-foot. On sheet C, Gallegos' stone is on its way. It's going to try to chip the, oh, nice little angle raise to bump the yellow out. The red out. That was a nice shot. And now Gallegos is counting 4. At least 3. Not sure about the 4. But there is a draw path. Because all but one of those yellow stones is behind the tee line. Not by much, but they're all kind of crowded in the back of the 4-foot. One of them is on the tee line. So there, I believe, is a path to the button for Team Dunham. In the A event final, lots of talking going on down there with the skip and the vice. They're looking to, that's Team Bonino. And it looks like they're looking to just draw one in and be counting. I believe they are already counting 1. Over on sheet A, the first skip shot for the yellow team without the hammer and throwing heavy, going to be doing a little bit of a chip out. Oop, and they chipped off their own front guard. And here comes, actually on sheet C, definitely throwing takeout weight. They're looking to go for the run back and open it up some, trying to get rid of some of the guards. And they got rid of the high guard, left the second guard, that looks like about a 2 guard, but it's just off the center line, so that did open it up some. You know, Team Gallegos is discussing their options. Over on sheet B, our A event final, it looks like there is a path into the house. Looks like they're going to be doing a takeout. Can't tell for sure, maybe a heavy draw down to bump to just chip the yellow out. There's a yellow, I believe, on the 4-foot. All right, the shot on sheet B is on its way. Looks like it's got a decent amount of weight. Looks like board weight, but a lot of sweeping. I think they may be narrow. I think they're worried about crashing on the guard. But now they're off. Now they're back on, trying to sweep for curl now. But yeah, they crashed on the front guard. Actually, judging from the way they were sweeping, it was really meant to be a heavy draw. And it just nicked the guard. Show on seat C, Team Dunham is throwing their hammer, and they are staring down 5 Gallegos stones. However, they do have a path to nestle right into the catcher's mitt and take their 1 and walk away. So it's a little bit scary, but the shot is there. It looks like they're going to try the bring a little bit of weight approach because they don't have much room for the curl. So they're just trying to go down there and get in the pocket and pop the yellow stones and hopefully stick for their 1. On sheet B, the hammer -1 stone is on its way, and it looks definitely like they're putting up a guard up front just to make things a little more difficult. They do have a counting stone in the 4-foot. All right, on sheet C, the first big shot of the game. Oh, and this is curling too much. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Okay, it's gonna make it in the pocket. It's all about where it ends up. Boom. Oh, and they got a hit and a roll, and I think they got it. Nothing like staring down 5 yellow stones. So a 6-point swing on that shot. And Red takes an early 1-point lead on sheet C, and that is the Dunham ring. Okay, on sheet B, we got the hammer. Also got the hammer on sheet A, but the sheet B hammer is on its way. Definitely throwing a takeout. Got lots of weight. The sweepers are sweeping now. Not for sure. Oh, they're going to try to run the red back into the yellow. Oh, and it chipped the front guard. And looks like it's going to be one yellow, but I don't know for sure. It's a little bit messy, and it's hard to see from our corner pocket. Okay, hammer on sheet A. Team Brian, line it up. Looks to be throwing some sort of tap. They're going to try to tap a red stone out on the left side of the house. Broom, I don't think is far enough out to be doing the draw, so I think they're going to try to tap their red that's in a guard position, a tight guard. And they're sweeping really hard. They're way out in the Fragmites, so this could end up being light. They're sweeping it hard. Did I get it right? Is this really the hammer? It is the hammer, but it is going to come up light. So not for sure what the score will be. Oh, they did make contact. They may have pulled it off. I have to wait and see what number goes up on the board. Now we'll see how efficient the Vices are at their duties, putting the score up. Having gone well into an end before I realized, oops, I need to put the score up. I understand, sometimes you forget. Okay, sheet A, yellow takes 2. So Team Tufaro has jumped out to an early 2-0 lead on sheet A. Sheet B, yellow takes 1 stone. Okay, and so that is Team Benino, or Rink Benino. And then on C, they have not yet posted it, but I'm pretty sure, yep, 1 red, because he did slide it right into that, against that mob of yellows. So on sheet C, Team Dunham actually put their stone in the back of the house. I think they overcooked it just a little bit. Gallegos answered with a corner guard that also slid into the house. And now it looks like they're trying to chip the yellow one out, but it's actually a little toasty, and I think it's going to get their own stone in the back. So Team Dunham is going to chip their own stone out. I did not see, I don't know whether they would have done that on purpose. It doesn't make sense, so I think they just missed the shot they wanted. Okay, on sheet B, we have 1 red stone in the house in the 4-foot, I'm sorry, in the 8-foot. And we have a yellow stone coming down, and they're definitely going to try to draw underneath their nice yellow guard and put one on the button, or top 4. And the line looks pretty good. The weight looks a little tiny bit heavy. It's going to end up dead center on the button. Sunday morning chocolate shot for those of you who play Sunday mornings. But it's one of those shots that looks really pretty, but it's not going to be there very long. As it's visible, it did not completely hide behind the guard. Team Tufaro on sheet A, throwing a draw in behind the red and yellow guard, and it looks pretty good down to the 4-foot, but I can't tell if it's buried. I don't think it is. I think it's going to be visible. Sheet B, nice chip out, just snuck in there and took the yellow on the button, right off the button, and left 2 red counters. Team Benino is opting to go ahead and put another one under their guard. For the moment, ignoring the 2 red stones, knowing that there are a reasonable chance of taking them out later. On sheet C, we got 2 guards, a red and a yellow guard up front. One is a center guard, one is a nice corner guard, and yellow has a nice stone behind its corner guard. And yellow is now going to try to draw in underneath the red guard and be counting 2. So this is Team Gallegos. The stone is on its way. The call is for the draw underneath the front red guard. Probably top 4. Oh, could have a flash on sheet B. They were trying for the draw, and it just was heavy. It ends up in the back of the house. Oh, and sheet C, the draw is good weight, but a little bit wide, and it's wide open, leaving a straightforward hit and roll for Team Dunham. So now on the B event in the center, sheet B, I said A event on sheet B. Gonna just get rid of the guard out front. Okay, Brian, getting ready to throw their stone on sheet A. Looks like they're calling to get rid of the yellow guards out front. They're thinking of trying to get rid of both of them. On sheet C, nice takeout, a little bit of a spin out though. Looks like it's going to hang around and bite the 12 foot. We'll see if that ends up mattering. There's already a yellow stone under a guard biting the 8 foot, so it may not matter. All right, they successfully completed the takeout on sheet B, cleared out the front guard. They did lose their stone though, so it wasn't as good as they would have liked. They would have liked to have kept the red stone in play, but it went off the sheet, which leads to Team Bonino having a double where they could just hit right dead center of the 2 red stones and peel them both out. Here comes the draw on sheet C, but it's a bit toasty and it's going to slide all the way back towards the hacks. Still trying to figure out the ice. On sheet B, it looks like they're just going to get one of the reds. Oh no, it snuck back and it got contact on both of them, but it's only going to get rid of one of them. The second one is going to end up in the back of the house, but it is number 3. The yellow is counting 1 and 2. They are both behind the tee line. Red immediately calls for the takeout on the closest to the button yellow. There is an opportunity for a double here. Not easy, but makeable. Sheet C, still trying to figure out draw weight. Last few stones have been draw shots, but have been a little heavy. This one is coming in. Line is good, but it's going to slightly go past. It's going to go back to the back 8 or back 12 when Gallegos gets done defensive sweeping. Actually, he swept it right out. He had just enough on it. He was able to just get it out. All right, so on sheet B, they get the takeout of one yellow stone, but unfortunately they lost theirs. It didn't curl enough to get, had too much angle on it and went out the side. So Team Bonino immediately calls for a center line, top 8, in line with their back 12 Yellowstone. All right, now we may have figured out draw weight on sheet C. This one's coming in nicely. Now the question is whether it's going to have enough. Gallegos is pounding on the stone along with his wife, and it's going to come up just short. It's going to just nibble the 12 foot. Not clear if it's out counting the other red way off in the on the edge. Okay, here comes a draw on sheet B. It's got a little bit too much on. It's going to end up freezing down to its back yellow stone. 2 yellows in the back and a red in the back, and it looks like, can't tell who's counting between the second red and the second yellow and the red. Doesn't look like it's going to matter match. The call is to get rid of both the yellows, and it's going to be a fastball coming soon to get rid of them. We'll see if he gets rid of both of them. Over on sheet A, looks like we're putting up a guard for Team Tufaro. And nicely done. They've got a Yellowstone in the 4 foot, or well into the 4 foot, and under lots of guard now. Beautiful. Somebody is absolutely dialed in. Draw weight on sheet C, and red now has got one in the 4 foot, slightly exposed. Doesn't take Gallegos long to set the broom up to go ahead and try to chip it out. Weight was perfect, needed to curl one more stone to be buried. It's like half visible. The takeout is on its way. Appears a little wide, but it's plenty of the speed. It should curl now. They're sweeping for the curl. Question is, will they get enough? And they are going to get contact, and that should do it. Yep, red stone removed, and they did lose yellow, but the critical hit was done. Over on sheet A, we just cleared out a yellow guard. They were actually trying to go through and chip the counting yellow out, but it hit the guard. Okay, on sheet C, Team Dunham is looking to do a run back on their red guard, center guard, and knock the yellow out. On sheet B, we have a takeout coming down to just hit Probably just nose the red out, yep, and slide over and sit on top of their own yellow. Actually, they left a double, so again, we could get rid of two. Well, but there's a jam, so but they could still pop it and get rid of both the yellows, and they may lose theirs. But now they're talking about freezing on the yellows. Nope, they're going to go for the hit. Over on sheet A, got lots of Brian looking going on, trying to figure out how to get into that yellow stone in the 4-foot. And they are now thinking to do the run back double off the yellow guard or biting guard. Here comes the takeout on sheet B. Looks like it may be a little wide. They're sweeping hard. Actually, they're sweeping to get a little more curl. So they're going to get contact, and they might get away with this. Nope, it was a little bit soft, and it actually ended up leaving both yellows counting. Not enough curl and a little bit soft. So the first skip shot on B, oh, I'm sorry, first skip, not vice shot on B. Okay, over on sheet A, trying for the slash double. They're gonna, oh my, oops. Brian pitched it a little bit wide and lost and missed it. So right now yellow's counting one, but they can easily bump their second yellow up for another counting stone. Sheet C, overcooked yellow stone, and it gets swept right out the back. Seems like they're being a little challenged by the speed on sheet C. It looks like it's faster than they think on the away from the wall side. There's been a number of shots that have slid through. So over on sheet C, Team Dunham is up. Team Gallegos has two yellow stones in, but they're both in the front of the house, one biting the 12-foot and one biting the 8-foot. But the 8-foot one is under guard. So it looks like, I'm sorry, this is Team Dunham, sorry. It looks like they're definitely going for the hit, and probably just the hit and stick to leave the run back or the promote for their next shot. So they want to hit this right on the nose. It looks like they're going to miss a little bit, and they're going to lose their shot. And the vice almost got stone flipped. Came flying off the hit. Okay, sheet B. 3 yellow stones counting, but they're all behind the tee line. So the shot that's being called is the straight takeout. Looks like they're going to try to get rid of at least 2 of them. Red does have the hammer on sheet B. So they're just basically trying to clean the house out a bit. I'm sure they'd love to have their red stones stick around. The best shot would get rid of 2 yellows and leave their red sitting there with something, 1 more stone behind it. And they got rid of 1. And actually their red stone is in front of it, the last red stone in the back, so makes it a little harder to get rid of, chances of jammies. But it's far enough up that it can be chipped out. Okay, once again on sheet C, we have a slightly overcooked stone that ends up going out the back. Oh, and that was it. So that was the hammer. So I'm not sure how many yellow got. I think they got 2, but there was a red biter, and I wasn't sure if it was out counting the yellow biter. We'll see what they hang on the scoreboard. Okay. Brian is up over on sheet A. They are throwing the first of the skips shots with hammer. They are looking at 2 counting yellows, biting the 4-foot, biting the 8-foot, and it's going to be tough to get in to get them because they're behind guards. Little chip shot on sheet B, but they missed it, and red is still counting 1. And so red On sheet B, Team Team Pearson has a open draw to everything but the 12-foot for 2 points. Definitely one of those. Of course the skip's going to make this shots. You know, nothing like an open draw to the house, sometimes called the most terrifying shot in curling. Sheet C looking to draw one in, but it looks like they came up a little bit light, and they're just going to leave it as a guard. Oh, sorry, they were actually going for the corner guard. That was just the first stone with hammer, and they got it across the hog line. And it's a corner E. Gallegos calling to go right to the top four. Going to try to draw one in. See if they can figure out the weight on this left side of the sheet. And red gets their 2 points on sheet B. So it is now 2-1 in favor of Dan Pearson on sheet B in the A event final. Gallegos' draw to be counting one is a decent looking shot, but it's not. It's going to just quarterbury. So it's presuming that Gallegos will go after this. And over on sheet A, we still have 2 stones to go. Got a pretty busy house with yellow counting one, and then a red, yellow, all in the front of the house, kind of in a staggered pattern. I would presume that yellow will put the guard up here on sheet A. Unless they can get, no, actually I take that back. It looks like they can get in through. They can get around all the guards, and they can get in and take the yellow out and be sitting 4. Okay, but the skip is coming back down the ice for a consult. Okay, and they are now looking at the hit. Yeah, more clearly at the hit. Yeah, so they're talking about where they want to end up after the hit. So Gallegos actually missed. Looks like he chipped the guard. He did not get to the Yellowstone, and so there's a more wide open yellow in the house on sheet C, and yellow's putting another stone in the house. Sweeping hard to go behind their counter, and it's going to bury nicely. A little bit heavy, but they made a good shot out of it just by burying it behind the other yellows. All right, here comes the attempted takeout of the red stone on sheet A. Skip is watching close. And I take it back. They actually changed to a draw shot. They're trying to guard their 1 point. So they switched, and they got a pretty darn nice looking guard, which is going to make it very difficult for red to get anything in for the score, and keeps red from hitting their back red and chipping the yellow out. Big takeout on sheet C. Ends up just being a peel of the front one. Actually moves 2 of them. Yellow still has 2 counters, but they are in the back of the house. So that was a decent shot. Sheet B, Team Bonino is looking at 2 reds in the house, but they're wide open, and they're going to go try to take them out, trying to double them out, and other curlers in the way. I can't see what actually happened. I see 1 red stone flying out, and yep, got them both. Nice shot. Oh, one of the reds kind of hung around. Looks like it's biting the 12-foot in the back left. But definitely got it away from the center of the ice, or the center of the house. All right, so Team Brian, trying to figure out what to do. Looking at some run backs, looking at some hit and rolls, and a little bit of a pickle here. It's, the question is whether They have a, well, I think they have a line to the button, but it's very, very tight. Now they're looking at a pretty crazy tap, tap, tap. Now they're switching back over. Looks like they're going to go for the red run back. Red into yellow. Well, it's still pretty crazy, but I'm not for sure what the shot is on sheet A. All right, Team Brian's shot is on its way. Brian Kimmy is watching intently from the house, trying to get the angle just right. Little bit of sweeping, but so they actually were trying, I think, the in off the yellow, but they missed. And okay, gave up one yellow. In a bit of a hole there on sheet A, Team Brian. Down now 3-0 against Team Tufaro. Okay, Team Dunham on sheet C is trying to draw one in underneath or the yellow guard on the left side. Little sweeping action going on. Looks like it's a little light, but it is. I take it back. Oh boy, they're going to run the yellow back, and I think they're going to end up putting it on in the center. Okay, it went back a bit, back in the back 8, but it is kind of buried. So Gallegos is calling for the draw to the button, or top 4. So Gallegos' draw is on the way, and there is another draw, yellow draw on sheet B. It looks a little toasty. The sweepers are just kind of walking next to the stone like, hey, you're going too fast. It looks like a little slightly overcooked on sheet B, probably going to slide out the back. With a little help from the opposing skip. And will it hang around? Can't see, people are in the way. Oh, it hung around the back 12. So Team Brian versus Team Tufaro. Tufaro's jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Brian needs to get on the board here. And Tufaro is taking out the one counting redstone right now and getting a nice roll underneath. Very well done shot there. I can't tell if it's buried, but looked pretty darn good. On sheet C, just throwing a draw down into the house, but it's coming up a bit short. The sweepers are trying to drag it in, but they are going to just barely. They might have gotten a biter, but it doesn't matter. There's 3 other counting stones. Got a back of the house takeout on sheet B. The sweeper's hammering it. Looks like it's over curling a little bit. Now they're off, so must be looking better. They're going to get the hit. Question is, will they be able to nose it and hang around? And they do. All right, here comes Gallegos' first stone without the hammer. And he does have an open draw to the house with guards he can hide behind. So okay, Team Tufaro on sheet A has a nice counter in the back 4. It looks like they're trying to put another one in on top. Probably in the front 4 on top of it. They're still sweeping hard, and it's coming into the house. Actually, very well done. Looks like it's solid 4-foot in line, partially guarded. They may be able to go in there and chip it out. I can't tell from this angle. Okay, Gallegos' draw shot is a gorgeous draw shot. Undercover, top four. It's within a stone of where he would have put it if he picked it up, walked down there, and sat it on the ice. Hi, Joel. I am good. All right, takeout on sheet B, returning the favor of the previous takeout. Sweepers are on it pretty hard to hold the curl, so but now they're off and they got it, and they should stick around. A little bit of a bump and roll, so they stayed in the house, but they're wide open. So Team Bonino has to decide whether to sit on that red stone, take it out, and try to hide under their yellow guard, or go for the double. There is another red stone in the back left. All right, on sheet C, can't. Looks like they're trying to peel some guards out. Makes perfect sense so they can get at those the Yellowstones that are, or the Yellowstone that's deep in the house. Okay. So my guess is that Gallegos will just come back and put that guard right back where it was. Pretty much anything on the center line would do the job, or slightly left of the center line. Would really close the door down. Okay. See if I got any comments. No comments yet. I do have 16 viewers. And I actually got a like. Oh, we got a like. We like likes. Sheet A. Brian, takeout shot. They got the front one and missed the middle. All right, so they did open it up some. Sheet C. Got a nice draw coming down. Actually, he wanted the guard. It might maybe not make it back enough, but it's still moving. So it kept moving and it got a nice bit of curl at the end. Turns out to be a very nice guard. Good read by the sweepers. Got a draw coming down on sheet B. Looks like they're going to try to come down and maybe sit on their own stone or out in front of it. I would guess out in front of it. Leave them lined up but far enough away that the double is harder, and that's what they get. In the top 12, and another one in the back 8. Actually, it may be the back 4. Over on sheet C, Team Tufaro is putting a guard up, protecting their counter near the button. Looks like it's nibbling the button on the right side, and they now have 2 guards out in front of it. And then one more troublemaker in the back right. And looking at the Team Brian is looking at the run back double. Okay. Team Bonino is going to go ahead and clear the front red guard. And if they hit it pretty much on the nose, have a real good chance of getting rid of 2 red stones. So I think this is definitely a called double. Sheet C, we got a red hit and roll going down on their own stone. And I can't tell exactly what happened. It looked like it did not make it in. And that was the hammer, I believe. So I know that Gallego scored at least 1. There's a nice shot on B. Yellow has now got 1 stone in the 4-foot, but it is slightly exposed, and they are going. Team Pearson is going for the chip out. Can't tell for sure. Looks like maybe half the stone is visible. Stone is on its way. Looks like a control weight takeout. It's all about getting the right amount of curl on this to get around the guard, get good contact. Sweepers are now sweeping hard for curl, so they know they're past the guard. And pop. And they got it, I believe. Yep, they got it. So they successfully chipped the yellow out, but they also left their stone now slightly vulnerable. So Team Bonino is going to try to return the favor with the chip out. Over on sheet C, we have a draw underneath the yellow guard. Redstone going to try to come underneath. Actually, this is right at the beginning, so I take that back. They're just putting a corner guard up. Well, now they may have decided to just bring it in because it's coming in and it could go, yeah, okay. I don't know what was the called shot, but they turned it into a nice draw underneath the yellow guard. Don't know if that was a plan B or probably a plan B because they can be hit. And the return the favor takeout on sheet B has been accomplished, and that was the hammer. And so yellow scores 1. So I believe we're all tied up on sheet B now. On sheet C, the attempt at getting rid of the red stone actually failed, went a little bit wide, and did not come back. So Team Dunham has 1 stone now. They can put a guard up on their red stone. Cornering underneath the yellow would be perfect. We got the Maginot line over on sheet A, a whole bunch of guards. Team Tufaro is trying to figure out what their options are, trying to figure out a way to get something in there. They do have a counter in the back right, in the back of the house, so they may choose to just guard that. There's a red run back. They could also try to block that red run back. Actually, there's a whole bunch of red run backs, so not sure which one they'll try to block, or they may just, they've got plenty of room to sneak one into the 4-foot, so that may be what they're trying. Nope, the vice is signaling the guard, so they're going to try to block the red run back on the right side. Okay, so yellow did indeed score 1 over on C, so it's 2-1 for Gallegos. Okay. Actually, Gallegos just peeled off the yellow guard to open up. Shot at the 2 reds counting. Team Tufaro over on sheet A is trying to put a guard up, and it looks like they may come up short. This could actually hog. The sweepers are desperately trying to get it across, and now they're kicking it home. Little bit light. Got some more hard sweeping on sheet B, but that's just to get enough to draw underneath the top yellow guard. Looking pretty good. Now they may want to, oh boy, they may have overswept it slightly. No, it's slowing down. Slowing down nicely, and it's going to be right on the button, but not buried. Only half buried. So on sheet C, Gallegos' team is throwing, and the call, I believe, is to come down and freeze or bump the red stone back. And if they bump it, they'll be counting. However, it does look like it's a little toasty, and I don't think it's going to curl enough. Yeah, this one's going to slide through the back. Sheet B. Call is for Team Bonino to put a yellow stone in the house, top 4 behind their guard. Okay, I see some fist pumping going on over there for Team Brian. Oops, I may take that back. Yeah, it was Team Brian. So I got not sure exactly what they pulled off. Okay, here comes the redstone on sheet C. Looking to split the house and draw one underneath the yellow guard. The question is whether it. Oh, they went the other way. Sorry, they're going to come freeze on their red one. Yeah. Okay, nice shot. Nice shot. When I first saw the stone, I couldn't see the handle. Couldn't tell which way it was spinning. So. Sheet B, you have a nice draw into the house, but it's a little bit deep and it's a little bit exposed. So they're either going to come down to it or they're going to bump it out. Okay, so it looks like we're calling for the hit. Got the broom right on the stone. And okay, here comes Gallegos' a draw down. And this is going to tick off the guards and hang out in the very front of the house, which is advantageous for red, which is counting 3 right now, because it basically just ends up as a guard. So I'm thinking they might want to put another guard out in front of the yellow to block the run back, or just draw another one in. And they're opting for the let's put 4 in a house approach. Sheet B, definitely trying to take out the yellow counter in the back of the house, in the back 4. And it looks like they've got it. They are sweeping to clear the guard. Oh, no, they just chipped the guard. That did open the front end up. All right, so Gallegos' attempt to, Dunham's attempt to come all the way out on the outside is going to come up short. My guess is they got out in what we love to call the fragmites here at Nutmeg, and the stone just got ate alive and ends up as a corner guard. So now Gallegos is definitely looking at the run back on his own yellow stone. Got a lot of red to hit, so basically just trying to get rid of something and open it up. Actually, yeah. Okay, so he's got contact on the front guard and a little tickle on the reds, but leaves 2 of them counting. Actually, just 1 is counting. I take that back. The yellow didn't move much, so yellow is actually counting now. So that turned out to be a decent shot. Team Dunham is going to try to run the yellow back into that yellow to try to double them out. Sheet B, yellow is now counting 2. Gonna get the front one for sure, and possibly the double. Yes, cleanly done and just missed the hack. Good shot. Okay. And on sheet C, they got rid of 1 of the yellows, but not both of them. And I'm not for sure what happened on sheet A. They're pushing rocks around, so they'll let me know soon enough. There is a yellow stone going to the hack, so that does mean yellow scored again. So Team Tufaro has put yet another point on the board. Okay, Team Dunham on sheet C. Actually, sheet B is away. Straightforward hit, and what they want to do is roll down to those other reds and be hard to get rid of. And they're definitely getting the hit, and a little roll, but not enough. All right, so Team Dunham's yellow stone is coming down. It's pretty light. He's trying to kind of get to the corner freeze on the yellow. And it looks like he's going to get it. Yeah. All right, so that was actually my Gallegos the yellow shot, and they did get the nice freeze on the red, which is what they wanted. Team Dunham is now throwing, and they're trying to do the run back on the red, and they're going to get solid contact, but it's going to be a little bit too much angle. It's going to go flying through the house. I will be back in a couple minutes. Well, I stepped away and things got exciting here on sheet B. They're in the midst of a 3-stone measure. Two red stones and a yellow stone. And they're now spinning the measuring device around, and let's see which stone they push in. They're on their way around to the second red stone. And, oh, it looks like it twitched a little bit, and they moved the red in. So, one red. Not sure if I think it actually ends up being two reds. Here they come, continuing the measurement. Hmm, quite close. And they're going around for another look at it. Making sure the measuring device, oh, they're going to reset the measure and contact the stones again. Got clear deflection on the yellow stone. Now we'll come over to the red. Actually, they're going to have a lot of deflection, maybe a little bit excessive, but they can count it. And now they appear to be done, and they're going around one more time. It's a triple measure. I have a couple times in my 13, 14 years of curling seen this go down to the micrometer, and you could not tell one from the other, and you ended up with a tie. So it looks like we're approaching that kind of possibility. Okay, now they're discussing it. And they're picking up, no. We have a quadruple measure. This is the fourth time around the circle. And around they come. They're going to measure again. They can't sort it out. Okay, I haven't been paying attention to the other sheets. So now they've now got lots of eyes on it. Oh, that should just be the vices looking at it. And now they're going to go. Looks like they're going to adjust it and try one more time. Oh, this is. Okay, here they come. Yellowstone first. Maybe they want to go get the new one. The little device that you see them using measures to the micrometer. So, I mean, and I have seen ties where devices could not decide that one stone was closer than the other, and it ends up being no score. Okay. Oh no, they brought out the Iceman. Okay, they have. Yeah. Yeah, so we've brought out the head ice technician and president of the club, Mike DiPolo. Actually, I said that wrong. Bobby Stahl is the head ice technician, and Mike is her very competent assistant. But now Mike is actually doing the measure, um, and he's looking for deflection on the Yellowstone. Okay, I was so caught up in this wonderfully exciting measure, I didn't see what happened on sheet B. I'll update you as soon as I know the score. Okay, it looks like red is up, so red definitely scored on sheet B. They they already got one red counting. All right, now they finally have come to a decision, and I think it may have been another red stone. That was a lot of work. So red actually got two on sheet B. So Team Pearson now has a 4-2 lead in the A event final. And over on sheet A, I'm not for sure. Yeah, they're still playing a four. Got a couple stones left, and it is currently 4-0, Team Tufaro. Okay, so red got 2 points on sheet C with the multiple measure. And so they are now up 3-2. That is Team Dunham over Team Gallegos on sheet C for the C event final after 4 ends. Got Brian sweeping hard over on sheet A, kind of coming down the draw, and freeze on the Yellowstone right on the button, and they did, and I don't know, they bumped it, so they might be counting over on sheet A. It's not clear. All right, got a takeout on sheet B. Appears to have been executed nicely. Got rid of one red stone. Actually, ended up just bumping them back to the back 12, but certainly got it out of the middle of the house and put it in the back of the house. On sheet C, they got a red centerline guard, a red counter in the 12-foot, and then a high centerish yellow guard. Team Dunham now throwing a draw behind the red guard. At least that's my guess as to what the call is. Sweepers are on it pretty hard. It seems to be a little light. Unlike the takeout on sheet B, which is on its way and should be effective if they can get enough curl. They're sweeping hard for the curl. It looks like they're going to get the peel, get rid of the yellow stone, but they're going to lose their stone also. Over on sheet A, Team Brian has a nice counter and on the button and two yellows behind it. So it looks like they're probably going to try to guard that one or maybe even bump the red into the yellows and be counting two. It's a little toasty. Needs to curl quite a bit. Oh boy, this could be a problem. Yeah, they actually intentionally swept to keep it from chipping their own stone out. So they took the run. And they're on the board now, so it's 4-1 in favor of Team Tufaro after 4 ends. All right, team on sheet C, Team Dunham is throwing a draw, trying to come in behind the yellow guard. They're going to have to sweep a lot because this is not real fast. It's also not going to curl enough, so it's going to end up with maybe a biting guard. Yep, a biting guard on the right side. um, which is pretty straightforward for Gallegos to hit and possibly roll underneath into the house. Sheet B looks like a draw underneath the yellow guard. Um, Sweepers are off it now, so they want it to curl more to get in underneath the guard. So it's gonna make it into the house, but be exposed. Gallegos' shot um, does remove the red stone. Nicely done. So Dunham is going to answer by promoting his red on the other side of the house and try to put one into the top four or on the button. Okay, we got dueling stones on sheet A and B. Looks like two draws on their way. Actually, B looks more like a takeout. It's going a bit faster, and there is a red stone right there in the center that they're trying to get rid of. So they're going to get contact. The question is whether they're going to lose it. Oh, they just nibbled it. So they're not going to lose it, and the red is still going to be in play on the left side of the house. So that did not work. And actually, the shot on sheet A came up a bit short for Brian Walker of Brian. It was a little bit light, and the sweepers tried to save it, but were not able to. So Team Gallegos is going for the hit, and they got contact on the red and removed it, opened up the front and left the other and opened it up. So actually it's overall a pretty decent shot. There is a high guard, a high yellow guard that is somewhat guarding the back red, but it's such a long distance you can still get to it. And they're going to draw one in underneath. Team Team Dunham. Try and draw another one into the house and be counting two. On sheet C, we've got a takeout on its way. They're going to try to chip the red out, and they do. I think they would have rather preferred to stay around, but they did get rid of one of the counting reds. So Team Dunham's draw is on its way on sheet C. Looks like they're sweeping hard for weight. The curl has, oh, they're actually going for the hit and roll. So that's why they're sweeping so hard to get the chip, that front yellow, and they do get the chip and the roll. Didn't have a whole lot of weight on it, but it did carry a bit back into the back corner. They are counting two. I don't know whether that was a draw shot that they switched to the hit and roll because he was wide, or if that was the actual called shot. On sheet B, we got a guard being thrown, and it's a really soft guard, so the sweepers are pounding it to get it to where they want it. Looks like they're going to make it. Yeah, unfortunately, they left a pretty straightforward double. On sheet C, Team Tufaro is doing takeout and roll underneath. A very good shot. They now have three yellow stones counting, all off to the side of the house. I All right, here comes Gallegos' first stone with hammer, and he is going to try to draw down to the back left red and be counting. Needs to curl. The sweepers are definitely thinking it's toasty, and I think that their interpretation was correct. It's going to be to the middle of the house. Now they're going to sweep it back and possibly sweep it out. And they're going to leave it hanging around on the back 12, looks like. but it is stone number 2 or 3, not clear, which there's the red and a yellow stone, both biting the back 12 foot. Not clear who's closest. All right, over on sheet A, the Bryans did manage to scatter some yellows and got rid of at least one, maybe two of them. But there's still 2 yellow stones, one clearly in the house and one looks like it might be biting or close. But it is Team Tufaro's shot. So they're now talking about getting rid of the red guard. And that appears they're going to go for that. They're just cleaning up stones with the lead that they've got. Basically, if you can hit red, hit red. And here comes the delivery. Sweepers are watching it closely. Got another takeout on sheet B on its way. Actually, I take that back. It's not a takeout. They're going to bump their own stone up. Just going for the promote. And it looks like it was a little wide, so it's going to, okay, got by. Oh, it actually is going to end up froze on a red one in the back. So it may have been, they may have actually been going for that back yellow. It was fast enough that I think that actually the regional takeout call was correct. It was just a down weight take. All right, so Team Gallegos looking at least one red with the hammer and an open draw to the button. All he has to do is get full 4 foot to tie this game up on sheet C. Stone is on its way. Gallegos seems to like it. The sweepers are giving it a little assistance. Oh, now they're starting to hit it pretty hard, so they're worried about it being light. All they have to do is get to the 4 foot, but it's going to be a challenge. They need to really go. They're still moving, still moving. I think they're going to make it, but it's going to be close. Oh, nice shot, nice shot. Got it all right to the button. Good weight. Good weight management. Let your sweepers make the shot. Over on sheet A, Team Tufaro is going to get rid of it. Red got rid of one of the yellow stones, but now the red stone is going to go bye-bye, and going to be counting 2 yellows. Still 3 stones left, though, so it's got a little bit more action. On sheet B, red ended up scoring 1, so Pearson now has a 5-1 lead on sheet B. So Pearson, 5-2 lead on sheet B. Opening up a little bit of a lead, but still not insurmountable. Bye. So Team Dunham throwing what looked like they intended to be a draw underneath, but came up a little short, so I ended up putting up another center guard, or quasi-center guard, on sheet C. So Gallegos decides to take advantage of those 2 center guards and bury one in the house, and calls for the draw underneath. Line looks a little bit narrow. Sweepers pounded on it pretty hard, just trying to hold it straight and keep it going. And they're around the guard, and this is coming in nicely, but just a little toasty, and I think it's going to be swept to the back 12. Maybe out the back. Yeah, it's a little hot. They're going to sweep it right out the back. They had to sweep early because it was a little narrow. All right, sheet B. Team Pearson now has 2 reds, top 4, back 4. So Team Bonino is calling to get rid of them. There are no guards help protecting them, so they're going to go for the run back double. Hit it on the slightly off the nose, one way or the other, and they get the double. Actually, they look like they're not perfectly lined up, so all they have to do is hit the nose, and they'll get rid of both of them. Here comes the contact. It's going to be off the nose and chip out the front one. Okay, and Gallegos' shot, not Gallegos, sorry. Dunham's shot is a little bit heavy, and Gallegos sweeps it out, almost out the back, not in play, but touching the back line, otherwise known as a skip tripper. An annoying rock that is not counting, but you have to remember it's there, so you don't end up sitting on the ice on your butt. All right, Gallegos' shot is on its way. Looks like he's just trying to throw a draw down underneath the guards. Question is whether it will curl enough. Actually, also looks a little toasty. It's going to come down probably back 8. Off defensive sweeping, then bring it down as back as far as possible. And now the skip tripper is gone, and there's a yellow counter, which is also a skip tripper, but it's doing more than that. It's actually in the rings. Take out over on sheet A. Definitely take out weight, and looking to take out the red and stick. And actually, it was a little bit narrow, and it took out their own stone. So red has an opportunity on sheet A, but they don't have the hammer, so. Here comes Dunham's draw underneath, but it's looking like it's coming up a little short, but they're dragging it really nicely. They're going to make it into the house, and they're going to be counting behind the guard. So, good shot. Just a little light, but behind the guard's counting. But it does leave plenty of room for Gallegos to come around the other side and find the top 4. Didn't take them long to decide, and the stone is on its way. Only question is whether it has enough. They're sweeping pretty hard, and it looks like it's drifting a little wide. So I'm going to have to get a lot of curl on this to get buried. And it's going to make the tee line. And now Gallegos is actually sweeping past the tee lines, but he's trying to bury it. And it ends up in the back 4, but definitely exposed. Okay, so on sheet B, Team Pearson just removed a Team Bonino stone, leaving once again 2 reds lined up near the top 4 and in the back 4. So we're going to try that run back double again. Meanwhile, Team Dunham is trying. Oh, I'm sorry, Team Dunham is trying to draw in, come down to Gallegos' Yellowstone in the back 4, would like to bump it out. Looks like it needs to curl a bit more, but they are going to get contact. Boop. And they got rid of it. I would have liked to come over a little bit more because unfortunately now they're exposed. So hack weight takeout to try to keep the stone in play after contact. Want to have a little tiny roll to the skips right as they're in the house, or the vice is, no, it's still a skip in the house. Good looking weight. Got to curl some. Looks like it's not going to curl enough. Now here it comes, starting to curl, but it's going to nose it. It's going to hit the nose and still, no, it's going to be counting, but it's going to again be exposed. On sheet B, we got 2 yellow stones way out on the edge of the 12-foot. But Team Pearson has decided, let's just make sure they don't come into play and let's get rid of them. So the call is to hit these guys. The question is whether they can keep it from curling too much. Looks like they're going to get contact. Certainly going to get rid of one of them. Boom, boom. And they got just enough wiggle to get, I believe, rid of both of them. Nice shot. Hard shot way out there in the wings. Okay, so the hit on sheet C is coming in very nicely done, even a little bit of a roll. And now Team Dunham is counting 1. But it is just visible. Gallegos calling for the kind of probably a heavy draw. Needs to come down and bump the red stone back at least 2 foot to make it so they're easily counting. Don't necessarily want to knock this out. You want to leave it as backing to make it harder to get rid of the yellow. But again, looking pretty decent. Well, it's a little heavy and a little bit wide. So I think they're just going to get a tickle. Oh no, lots of curl at the very end. Almost a foot of curl in the last 5 feet of travel. And it ended up bumping the red. It didn't knock it out, but it is in a decent position. I just learned that there's a left-hander spiel, a bond spiel for only left-handed curlers. I don't know where, but they're broom stacking about it over in the corner. All right, so on sheet B, Team Pearson just dropped a nice draw in, and once again have 2 reds lined up, top 4, back 4. And once again, they're going to try the double. They've had a few shots at this, haven't pulled it off yet, but okay, so on sheet C, Gallegos is calling for to hit his Yellowstone into the red. It is absolutely there. The red may jam on the back yellow, but it doesn't really matter because if he does this cleanly, he'll be counting 2. All right, here is Dunham's shot. I'm sorry, Gallegos' shot on sheet C, trying to bump his yellow into the red and be counting 2. Actually, it looks light. I'm not really for sure what happened there. I think he just threw it too light. All right, I'll have to, ask Ed Simia why he would have thrown that shot. It does not make sense to me, unless he simply is willing to give up the 1. So Gallegos does not, red does have the handle, the hammer. Okay, so over on sheet B, now we have 2 red stones. They're now both behind the button in the 4 foot, but the back 4 foot, and they are lined up. This should be a straightforward double for Team Bonino. is not yet the hammer. I believe it's the hammer skips -1 stone, so his first skip stone for hammer. And could I, let's see, I gotta look at the score here carefully. So red scored, yeah, so yellow has the hammer. Gonna get the hit, and looks like they should get at least one of them, and looks like they got them both. Nice shot. All right, over on sheet B, um, right now, Team Brian is sitting 1 right on the button with a yellow stone right behind them. And so Team Tufaro is trying to decide what to do with that stone on the button. And there is a guard out front, makes it a little bit harder. Now they're talking about possibly peeling the guard. But it looks like they're going to go for the hit on the one on the button, and if they get the guard, they get the guard. Boop. Sheet B, nice clean takeout, and I've got a rogue stone from sheet C flying onto sheet B, but they were able to corral it before it did any damage. And now Team Gallegos has their last shot without hammer, but they do have an open path to the button, and they are counting 1. So they bury this and counting, they could be in a pretty good situation to steal 2. All right, here comes the takeout on sheet B. And I believe this is the hammer. So hit and stick for 1, unless they decide to go for the blank. They're behind a bit, so they might actually go for the blank so that they want to score more than 1 to try to climb back into the game. And that appears to be what's going to happen. And they indeed got the blank. So yellow will maintain the hammer, but hoping for that 2 or 3. Here comes Gallegos' draw, trying to bury it in behind underneath all the guards. It's looking pretty good. I'm liking this shot. They're going to sweep it hard to get it buried. This may not make it. It is going behind the tee line, but it's a pretty darn good shot. And so now the hammer shot will just be to take their 1 and walk away. Oh, interestingly, instead of trying to just draw down, it looks like they're going to go for the run back. I can't really tell. Is there another stone out there? Yeah. I'll admit I do not know why they're not drawing on the other side. It seems to be a bit riskier shot. I'm going to stand up so I can kind of see better. Oh, I see. They're trying to double out the yellows. Boom, boom. And they got rid of one of them nicely. Yeah. And so yellow scores 1. It goes up by 1. It is now 4-3 Gallegos as they go into the 7th end. All right, over on sheet A, Team Brian is sitting 2. And they're looking at the possibilities. So Team Brian could climb back into it here if they actually score. If they actually steal 2 or 3, it's going to be hard, but right now they're counting 2. So Team Bryan, counting two, um, is now throwing, and it looks like they're going to try to put another one in the house, but out in front of those red ones. Um, guard the two they've already got. Sweepers are working pretty hard, thinking it needs a little help to get there. It's coming into the house and looking like it's going to be pretty good. Careful, don't. Yeah, all right. It's interesting. They may have left a triple there if they clobber the front red one, but I can't tell whether it's going to jam on the second red's going to jam on the yellow. Yeah. So I do not know how many red scored on sheet B. It's currently 5-2, but I believe red scored in the sixth in. They just had a flash trying to get rid of the yellow stone in the top of the house. So we'll wait to see when they put the scoreboard up, or the score on the scoreboard. So Team Tufaro is bringing Yellowstone into the house and going to kind of try to cut down. Yeah, they do very nice shot, nibbling the button and counting, I believe, stone two, but it is exposed. Team Bryan can bump that Yellowstone out fairly easily. Nice shot by Team Dunham on sheet C. Draw underneath the guards, and they brought it all the way to the in the middle of the 8 foot. So Team Gallegos is going to try to answer and draw theirs all the way to the button or top four. Out quite a ways to the outside, so they're sweeping for curl. They need to be sweeping for weight now. It's slowing down. Is my guess is going to end up as a. Oh no, it's still sliding. This line is pretty fast. Yep, actually it's pretty fast, and they're going to get it in there, but not buried. They're out counting the red, but they're exposed. Okay, so over on sheet A, kind of interesting situation. At this moment, red I believe is counting three, but there's still a few stones left, and red has four stones touching the 4 foot or better. So Team Tufaro is looking to scatter this bunch of reds a little bit, or maybe slip one right into the pocket. There actually is a bit of a pocket there that if I could just stuff a yellow into it, they would be in great shape. So Team Gallegos is going to try to chip the red. No, it looks like they're just going to try to draw in behind it. Once again, just try to draw the button. The stone that they threw before, which was counting, was taken out. All right, so here they come with their draw. Just need a little bit more curl than last time. Sweepers think the weight is okay. They're on the fast line. Now they're back on it. And sweeping hard and looking like a really, really nice shot. Gallegos is going to sweep it to bury it, even though it's a little bit behind the button. 3/4 buried. So it can be chipped out with probably a hack weight takeout. It's actually just saying back line. Here comes the shot on sheet A, and they're going to slide it right in. But oh my, what a beautiful shot on sheet A. Uh, 4 red stones with a basically 1.5 stone gap, and they slipped it right in onto the button. Yeah, that was a dagger. Yeah. So Team Bryan just got punched pretty hard. Now they're looking to see if there's a way of hitting one of their reds and chipping that yellow that just got plopped on the button out. And there may be a way to get to it. I can't tell from way over here. Lots of looking going on. So Gallegos, after having his back stone tickled a little bit and made even more buried, is now going to try to plug the hole or drop another one in there to count. Looks like they're going for the actual counter. The question is whether it's got enough. Nope, they're going to go for the plug the hole up, and it did it very nicely. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Gallegos looking to steal one from Dunham here and take a 2-point lead into the last in. Of course, Dunham would love to score at least 1 or 2 and take the lead. But at this point, they've got quite a challenge to do that, although there is a yellow into red run back that could make their redstone a counter. So what are they doing? Not clear. Looks like they may be just trying to draw in. I did not see where he put the broom, so I'm not sure what to call. Oh, so red did manage to bump the yellow that was on the button on sheet A, but I'm not for sure what the count is right now. It looks to be red, yellow, but it's hard to tell because there's a whole bunch of stones in the 4 foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stones touching or in the 4 foot. So Team Tufaro, what are they doing? It looks like they're going to try that sneak through the red shot again, right through the red portal up front. Now they do have a comfortable lead, so if they can maneuver and okay, we gave up 2 and not be in a serious situation. All right. Team Tufaro's draw into the mess is on its way. All right, call it, guys. They're going to make it? Oh, and look at that. He just plopped 2 of them, 2 in a row, through the tiny little gap onto the button. Oh, man, that's dagger number 2. Now, they were able to remove the last dagger and get their advantage back, but now they have to do it yet again, Team Bryan. Back over here on sheet C, we're down to skip stones. Got a lot of Bryan-ating going on, trying to figure out how to get out of this quandary. Okay, we got some signage from the warm room here. The whiteboard is being used to cheer somebody on. Okay, here comes Gallegos for his first skip shot in the 7th in. And he does have a look at the red stone, which is counting. You can see about just over half of it. Looks like he's going to try to draw down to it and bump it. It does have a yellow stone right behind it, but if he can just bump it, he'll be counting. So nice delicate draw shot. It's on its way. Looks to be a little toasty. The sweepers are just kind of walking along with it. This might end up, oh boy, it's a little wide. It's got to curl a lot. There it goes. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, it actually ends up counting. Got lots of hilarity in the warm room. I think it might involve the whiteboard commentary. All right, so Team Brian facing a very difficult situation. 2 yellow stones in a row through a tiny little gap right to the button. They were able to move the first one and be counting, but now they have to do it again. So it looks like they're trying the same shot to come through their 2 reds and bump the yellow back. All right, I've been neglecting the A event. Right now, there's 2 red stones in the house. Yellow is throwing, so Team Bonino is throwing. Trying to sneak one in. Looks like they're just trying to draw the button. Okay. Team Dunham's shot on sheet C is on its way, trying to take out the exposed shot that Gallegos just threw. They're going to get the hit and the bump, and they got it. Not much. All right, here comes sheet A's shot. Oh, and they hit the guard. Oh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a lot of stones for 1 point. That was like 6 or 7 stones in the 4-foot, and yellow got 1. All right, so red did pick up 2 in the 7th in on sheet B. And so in the A event final, Team Pearson does have a commanding 7-2 lead. They are starting play in the 8th in. I'm expecting red to throw through or just put one in the house, and it looks like it's a throw through. So red's job is simple. If it's yellow, hit it as soon as you can. No guards, and yeah, they just threw it through. All right, and here is the not hammer, hammer -1. A nice clean takeout on sheet. And actually now Gallegos has managed to sneak in and is counting 3 at this moment. However, Team Dunham has the hammer and has a path to at least cut them to 1, and they actually can score 1. Open draw to the button, but the button is guarded. There's a stone sitting, biting the button. But they can get to the button and get their 1 and tighten this one up. That was pretty amazing over there. It was like 7 stones in the 4-foot, and they made 2 shots in a row right through the gap. Yeah. That was like dagger 1, dagger 2. Yeah. This one's close. They got to slide this right in there to keep them from scoring a bunch. The sweepers are on it hard on sheet C. Line looks pretty good if it curls. It's all about getting the weight just right. And there they go, and I think they got it. Very, very nicely done, and I don't know who's counting. I don't know. Think it's red. We'll see. This could be another measure. We're going to have to pull the stick out again. Oh, no, they're kicking them. They're kicking them. They made a decision. So if red scored, we are all tied after 7, 4-4 on sheet C for the C event final. The 8th in is underway on sheet B. Oh, and yellow's trying to get some guards to hide behind. They get a really nice high guard and a just barely biting second one. So they may try to go after that one or just throw through. My guess is they'll just throw through, and then they'll just start clobbering yellow stones. All right, the very well executed throw through is on its way. Question is, did he hit the broom? It appears that he hit the broom. So sheet C is somebody's got to win. It's all tied up. And the first high guard is in place. The A and B event finals are a little anticlimactic. Outside of a miracle, it's just a matter of keeping the house clean for the team that has the big lead. Sheet B, Team Gallegos trying to put up a guard to use, and they're going to just get a really, oh, actually they're sweeping it to bring it in. I'm not for sure. Okay, they decided to go for make a counter out of it. He's only got to make his last shot to score, so. And I actually got, oh yeah, many, many years ago, 40 years ago, KYFM, Bartlesville, Oklahoma, for a couple years. All right, so another guard set up nicely on C, trying to set up their steal. Gallegos looks like he was signaling to bump his back. All right, so more hit something yellow going on sheet B. And over on sheet C, I'm sorry, sheet A, after an incredibly dramatic sixth in, they are playing 7. And right now, red is counting 1 and yellow has 2 counters in the back. And here comes Gallegos' shot, which I believe is meant to come underneath their guard. And it's the question of whether it's going to make it. It's going to end up biting, which is fine. Now, however, red has the opportunity to bury one underneath their guards and put one on the top 4 and start putting a little pressure on. And the stone is on its way. The sweepers are giving it a little tickle. Now they're getting pretty serious. They think it's a little light. Team Dunham here, and it is definitely light, but they are dragging it. The question is, can they outcount the 2 yellows? They are 3 broom pound, and it looks like they might just get it. They do by a few inches, biting the 8-foot. Outdid it by 1 stone and partially buried it. And Gallegos immediately starts deciding to clean it up and get rid of some of those red stones. All right, and Gallegos' attempt at cleaning up the front red guards has got rid of one of them. Nice peel. Now back over on sheet B, getting a little interesting. Yellow's counting 2 right now and is looking to put a 3rd one in. So I missed it. I think that red flashed one. The intentional flashes early were fine, but now they need to start hitting something yellow. And they now have an opportunity for a pretty straightforward double. All right. Make or miss on the double, guys. Make or miss. Make or miss on the double. Make or miss. Right here, sheet B. All right, you got a one call for the make. I'll go for the make. All right, over on sheet C, Team Dunham does a good job of guarding their 1 point. That's what they need, and of course Gallegos doesn't like that guard, so he immediately calls to get rid of it. Here comes the make or miss double on sheet B. Now I'm going to call a miss. The jam, yeah. So they got rid of one yellow, but they left 2 yellows in the house. Here comes the peel of the guard on sheet C, and it appears to be quite effective. Nicely done. And over on sheet A, trying to look all the way down the ice across the corner, and I'm seeing a lot of stones out in the 12-foot, and I have no clue who's counting. Maybe yellow, because it looks like one of the yellows is biting the 8-foot. Sheet B, yellow is trying to get another stone in the house, but I'm afraid they're going to bump the guard. I think they're a little light, and they're actually going to bump the red guard. So now, does red go after? Oh, and they are shaking on sheet B. All right, so red ran out of stones, and that's it. And it is going to be Team Pearson, Dan Pearson, Jasper Cower, John Gephardt, and Michael, and I can't read my own handwriting, Zephyr, with the win on sheet B in the A event final. On sheet C, Team Dunham brings another red stone in and actually leaves a double. So Gallegos doesn't take long to decide to try to get rid of them. Either they needed to bump that or they needed to leave it as a guard, and unfortunately they left it as a slightly cornered freeze. And Gallegos immediately takes the opportunity to pop them, and let's see if he can get rid of both of them. I think a little over curl. May end up getting the jam. Yeah. Well, nope. He's going to get it. This is not the droid you were looking for. Okay, so on sheet B, we got a little ceremonial broom picture taking out on the ice. Again, I believe this is Team Pearson doing a little showboating for the cameras. All right, here comes red trying to draw underneath their red guard and outcount all those yellows. They do need to pound this. It's going to come up way weak. Yeah, unfortunately, that actually might be a hog. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, red is rapidly running out of stones. And Team Gallegos still doesn't like the red stones that are out there. So looking to just get rid of them. All right. Team Brian over there on sheet A doing lots of discussion, trying to figure out how to scrap a few points out of this end. And Team Gallegos misses their takeout and actually just runs out one of their own stones, which does leave the opportunity for putting a red in and possibly stealing. So things have gotten a little interesting over here on sheet C. This is the first skip shot on sheet C without the hammer for Team Dunham. Looking to put one on the top 4 underneath their high guards. All right, so Team Dunham Stone coming down the ice. They need to hammer it a little bit. They're past the guard. Weight now looks quite good. This is a beautiful shot, actually. It's going to come right to the button. And Team Gallegos now has a little work cut out for them. The question is, do they draw one down to that and bump it, or do they clear the guards? They pretty quickly call just for the draw. So they're going to use the red guards and try to draw down to it. Well, now he's taking another look at it. All right, nope, not the hammer yet. Penultimate hammer on sheet A for the Bryans. All right, pretty big shot here on sheet C. Gallegos definitely needs to get this down in there and bump that red back, or sit on it and leave it his last shot to bump it out. He only needs one, of course. It's tied. So over on sheet A, Team Bryan's first shot with hammer is on its way, and they were calling for the draw, but it looks like they might come up short. All right, Gallegos' shot is on its way, looking pretty good if it curls enough. It does have the weight. It is curling. The question is whether it has enough weight to be counting after the hit. And it is a very nice shot, but it's going to come up just inches short. We now have two stones. I don't know who's counting. I really don't know who's counting. Let's take a look at the overhead. Looks like red. The camera says red. So, just put the guard up. Dunham says, let's just guard that counter. Oh, boy.
Scoring the game, Joel? What? Are you scoring the game? No, I'm writing down who's winning because I got to send. Bob just texted me and said, just send me the finalists and the winner of the first one. And you're going to send all the names in, right?
Yes, I could do. Yes, yeah, I'll do that with some photographs. Yep.
Just so they know for their history files.
Right.
All right. So the guard is up on sheet C. Gallegos now has a very difficult shot to pull this off, but all he has to do is touch his yellow with just a bit of tap it and move the red back. And he's looking at trying to, I just don't know if the angle is there to get his yellow in. No easy drag effect. This is a very difficult shot. Now, however, he could use the red guard, run the red guard into the yellow, and push the red out.
Why wouldn't he have laid it up higher?
I think they were just trying to get more. Their own soil wasn't exposed, so they just kind of.
Yeah, but all he needed to do was
Anything between those guards and the shot rock was going to be good.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, maybe
Matt does not think he can get to the.
He can't get high enough on the red to run it back
So there's
with enough energy to do the job. And the drag effect's going against him.
Oh wait, yeah, he could. Yeah, that's true. He could just run the center rock straight back.
Oh, the left center.
No, not now. He could have if this didn't curl over that little bit. He can still run the other one. Yeah. Yeah, now he's.
Yeah. All right, over on sheet C, Bryan is sweeping the Yellowstone, trying to get it out the back, and he was not successful And I believe you're going to have a handshake. Yep, we have a handshake on sheet A, um, in the B event final. And so Team Tufaro has defeated Team Brian, okay, on sheet A.
Did we get a fifth sheet before we got a fourth sheet?
Yeah. I have no idea where that came from. That is that's the B event.
The B
Yes.
is on A?
That's what I was told. That's what I've been saying all day, that this was the C event final. Mike DiPolo's double checking whether I've been calling the B event the C event, the C event the B event all day. Doesn't really matter. It's which teams are playing against who.
Yeah, I thought this was the B event.
Okay, it's possible Okay, well, ignore everything I've been saying for the last 2 hours in terms of B and C event. It was actually the C event final on sheet A and the B event final on sheet C and the A event final on sheet B. Don't think about it too much. It's too confusing. So I apologize, but pretty much everybody else probably already knew that anyway. But the C event final is now over on sheet A, and the winner is Team Tufaro. The B event final is down to the last shot for Gallegos, and he's in a pickle. It looks like he's going to try to run the red back into the yellow. He only needs to move the red stone 3 inches, but I don't know if he can get enough energy on the front red to make it happen. Now maybe he's trying the right through the middle in off sneaky shot, but I'm thinking he's going to try to push the red back. We'll see. Stone is on its way, and it looks pretty tight. Got to curl some if they're going to try to run the red back. Oh, this looks pretty good in terms of getting to the red. It's all about having enough energy to bump. Well, there we go. There's the hit and the touch. Oh, my. And Gallegos pulls off an extraordinary shot for the win in the B of White final. And his buddies in the warm room are giving him lots of kudos. And that is a wrap from the GNCC tournament at Nutmeg Curling Club. And so just to recap very quickly, now I'll get the events right. The C event final was won by Team Tufaro over Team Brian Tully. And the A event final was won by Team Pearson over Team Bonino. And the B event final was just won in dramatic fashion with a wonderful little tap back by Matt Gallegos. Good day, good night, and we are signing off.